When I did the radio show, what did the temperature I give? 41?
Yeah,
Hello?
yeah. Too cold to wash the car.
And then like 80 degrees in the afternoon. What the hell is going on?
It was.
And don't give me that climate change thing. Okay,
Yeah.
I don't even want to go there with you on that. Hi. Please be seated. Yeah. Glad that you're here and glad we're here. I was just telling Ronnie, let's have some fun here for the next hour or so, and I have some things planned.
Well, that'll be good for a change.
Yeah, I think
People might enjoy
I
that.
think we might have a good show today, and we're on exactly on time, if I'm not
That
mistaken.
is pretty bizarre.
Yeah. Hey, and we made a few changes too. Look, there's a crawl at the bottom
Look
of
at
the
crawl.
screen.
Yeah, we
Yeah.
kind of got this thing figured out. Thank you, Jason and Sasha.
Evidently, we are not smart as a 9-year-old, though.
Yeah. Well,
Yeah.
can't have it all.
We have so many.
Can't have
years-
looks and smarts too.
Okay. How many people do we have in the live chat? Can you see that at this point?
You know what? Right now, my computer's not giving me that info.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Oh.
Well, one of us has got to get this right, Ronnie. Here.
Yeah.
If I do this, though, I can't look at my notes. Okay, so there we go there.
Oh man.
I can't do it.
All right, hold on.
What's wrong with your computer? What the hell?
It's stuck on this thing.
Just click that bell one more time. Try it. There you go.
Okay, now let me get to this.
I just want to make sure that this story is kind of funny. I was on jury duty this last week,
Oh, that's right.
and I thought about telling Ronnie all the details, but then I thought, no, it'd be best if I did it on the show and share it with all of you as well.
There we
I'm just
go.
waiting to see if we can get some sort of idea on how many people are in the chat room.
18 people.
18. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, good. Let's say good morning to who we have at this point.
Okay,
right?
so let's see. Starting at the top, Sasha,
Good morning, Sasha.
Alan K,
Hey, Alan.
Copper Dan,
Hey, Dan.
Rick Clemenson,
Hey, buddy.
Kurt Hensley.
Oh yeah, Kurt. I've been reading. You have had so many posts lately on Facebook. Man, oh man. And you know what? They're really good.
Really?
Yeah. You know how I feel about social media? It's like I really, and we disagree a little bit on this, Ronnie. I'm sorry. I really don't need to see what you are having for lunch.
Right.
I don't need that. You know what I want to see? Something that makes me laugh, something that makes me think, something that makes me feel something. Or
Sometimes what I had for lunch would make you laugh, though.
I,
Yeah.
my criteria for food is way different than what yours is for sure.
Let me see. We have Anon,
Hey, Anon, what's going on, buddy?
Charles Clement,
Oh yeah, Charles.
Ebby7,
Ebby, hi.
Lou and Ronnie Fan 500.
Good morning to you.
Yeah.
Could you give us?
That should be a race name, don't you think?
I
The
think it would
Lou
be-
and Ronnie
Yeah,
Fan 500.
I think it should be.
Yeah, that would be a great NASCAR race.
Okay, so while we
And
have,
Chad K.
oh, hi, Chad. Okay, so while we have that many of you that are on the live chat, we're going to try to do something a little bit different today, and this is going to come as a surprise to everyone but me, Ronnie included, of course.
Yeah.
When we do our Fantasy draft today, I had this idea when I was driving home Friday night. Why don't we make it so interactive that we take a player from the live chat room as we're doing it?
Oh, dang.
What do you say?
That's risky.
How? Because of technology?
Yeah.
Um,
But I'm willing to, you know what? If I'm nothing, I'm a risk taker.
Okay.
Yeah.
all right, so we're going to do that. And you know what? Who I want to do it with? I want to do it with Lou and Ronnie Fan 500.
Yeah.
Okay?
Okay.
And we'll vary this every week if it goes well. We'll see how it goes. But for right now, what I want to do is give you what our draft will be today. We will be drafting U.S. presidents
Oh, dang. Well, I know exactly who you're going for right off the bat. So,
because of my political affiliation.
no, I just have a feeling. Yeah.
Okay.
Just have a feeling.
The only thing that I can see in doing this little experiment is that Lou and Ronnie Fan 500, if he chooses to do so, we should ask him. Huh?
Yeah. Do you want to participate? Do you want to be in the Fantasy draft?
Right.
Yeah.
The only problem is you can't do rock, paper, scissors with us.
So he gets third.
New guy goes last.
You know what? And how do we do the picks then if you have three people?
Number one goes and picks one. Number two goes and picks one. Number three goes and picks one. And then number three picks one. Number two picks one. Number one picks one. Yeah.
But that's only two people then. I
No.
mean, that's only you.
Then you go back down.
Yeah. So then number one makes two choices.
Exactly.
At the end of that round.
Yes.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
All right. So that's how we'll do it. Lou and Ronnie Fan 500, please weigh in here, or we'll have to pick somebody else. I picked a topic that would be appealing to
pretty generic,
broad, you
Yeah,
know, and
yeah.
appealing to both men and women.
Unless you don't know three presidents.
And we don't mean personally.
Right. Do you know the names of three
Yeah,
presidents?
exactly. No. Okay. Yeah, so we're glad that you're here today.
Benjamin Franklin was not a president.
No, he was not,
No.
although he is on the $100 bill.
True enough.
George Washington, makes sense that he'd be on the $1 bill, the number $1 bill, right?
Yeah.
And he would be a very good pick.
Yeah.
Now, I don't know if you're going to learn anything about the two of us when we do this, nor do I suggest that you pay attention to the political party that the president belonged to in this case.
Right.
For instance, if I was a Democrat and I picked a Republican, it can happen.
Yeah.
I just hit the microphone. Sorry about that.
No.
It's kind of on a weird spot there, Ronnie.
It's unstable.
Moving, yeah.
It's right on a fault.
A fault in the table.
It's on a fault line.
So anyway, you understand what I'm saying. All right, so I think we're warmed up enough here. Ronnie, I wanted to tell you about my jury duty story before I get to it. Did I read it right in the wall in the jury room that police officers don't serve on jury duties?
They don't serve on criminal trials. They can serve on civil cases, like if you're suing your neighbor because they knocked down your fence or something.
Well, that makes sense because you'd want to testify in something like that.
Right. And in criminal trials, I always tell people, I've never taken an innocent person to jail. So if the person is in court, they're guilty.
Okay.
Now, whether you can prove them guilty or not, that's a different story.
Now, can we talk about that bit of advice?
Sure.
Okay.
Lou and Ronnie Fan 500 says he'll be in.
Oh, awesome. Terrific.
Good job.
Good job.
Good job.
Grow the show that way.
Yeah.
So, Ronnie, first of all, let me tell you, it was a Tuesday, just like any other Tuesday. I always start stories to my wife like that. She goes on.
Here we go. Commence eye roll in 3,
So it was
2,
a Tuesday,
1.
and I decided, having been on a jury once before, actually had jury duty once before. I was not on a jury. I decided that I would get there plenty early because parking can be miserable. And as it turned out, Ronnie, that day happened to be one of the biggest reporting days for people serving on jury duty that they'd had in at least a year or so.
Yeah.
That's what I was told. And so there had to be 150 people in the room. And I think the maximum capacity is like 154.
Oh, wow.
Oh, and there was, you know how I am with that.
Yeah.
I'm in a room full of strangers. I don't know anyone. I don't particularly like small talk.
Yeah.
Because I don't care.
Not in your wheelhouse.
No.
No.
And people are sweating and smelling like perfume and OMG. I just, they have those hand wash things in there. I was constantly doing this, even though I hadn't touched anything. Oh my gosh. So Tuesday, 8 o'clock rolls around. I'm checked in, waiting. And so they have a judge that came in and said some nice words. Very, very smart and very eloquent. And so it was then now time for them to call the first group of people to report.
They didn't have like a comedian come in and warm up the room or anything?
I think he thought he was. I found him slightly humorous. It was neither here nor there. So they call the first group, Ronnie, and sure enough, they call me.
Nice.
Okay, all right. Well, at this point, you could go into this room. You could be dismissed and then go to another room. They got you all day.
Yeah.
All right, so we report to this one room, and all of us are seated. Not one empty seat in the place. And so they open up and they talk about this and that and the other thing, and they go, okay, well, I'll tell you what we're going to do. We're going to break for lunch.
Yeah.
Break for lunch? Yeah, and we're going to go from 11:30 until 1:30. 2 hours?
Yeah.
Seriously?
Yeah. Because you want to walk to lunch. You don't want to move your car.
Yeah,
You just walk down to the K Street Mall.
I did.
Yeah.
I did. I went to a place called Pete's Pizza,
Yep.
and they had a special there for a single pizza for a person and soda, and it was delicious.
Yeah.
Delicious. So now I report back, and we're upstairs now in a different room, the room that the judge, by the way,
What courtroom were you in? Like 4?
uh, oh crap.
A lot of pretrial stuff goes in the courtroom 4.
Yeah, it wasn't upstairs, so it was one of those downstairs ones, and we went up to 12.
Okay. All right.
So, and it's a very nice, a much nicer courtroom. And so, they went through juror after juror after juror without calling my name. So, what that means is, since I'm in a room, I have to report the next day.
God.
So they knock off at 4:30. One of the things that they said was they were talking about hardship cases, and I was listening very carefully because I didn't know whether my company paid for jury duty, compensated for jury duty or not.
I'm pretty sure they do, but it's not much.
So
They don't give you like the whole day off with pay typically.
guess what? They don't compensate it at all. I didn't find that out
Oh man.
until the next morning when my boss let me know, graciously enough. Now I've already taken one of my vacation days,
Right.
and I have to report back on day 2. So I think to myself, I didn't think I qualified for a hardship case because it said if the main breadwinner in the family is called to jury duty and the spouse has a position, a full-time position, then it's not a hardship. Well, trust me, in my case, it is. So
Boy.
anyway, we sign in the morning, and I talked to the bailiff. I called him aside and I said, "Can I talk to you privately?" And I said, "Look, I'm really sorry to do this, but I don't want to waste any more of the court's time. My company, I found out this morning, does not compensate for jury duty, so I'm going to have to recuse myself if at all possible." And he says, "Okay, what's your name?" And I told him, and he goes, "All right." And he goes back into the courtroom and closes the door, and everybody's still out in the hall. They've called the main jurors; they're seated. And so they call us all in. And I'm thinking, okay, well, here they go. The judge's going to say, "Mr. Gallagher, you've been dismissed," and
Right.
blah, blah, blah. No. Not only do they make room all 6 seats in front of the 12 jurors where the alternates sit,
Right.
they announce that the 12 that they have there seated now, that's our jury. And now we're going to pick alternates. So I'm thinking, well, crap. What are they doing with me?
Yeah.
Mr. Gallagher, they call my name. First thing, and here it comes, folks, stay with me. I know this has been a long story. So, Ronnie, they call me up there, and I'm like, no, this isn't supposed to be the way that it goes. They're supposed to dismiss me. They're going to make me go through the process. So, sure enough, they seat me. The judge, who was really great, a woman who was terrific and very good at her job. She asks the first couple of questions that are formatics,
Right.
and then she says, "Okay." And she gets to the point where she says, "Now, how many of you have friends or relatives who are members of law enforcement?" And so everybody, my finger's about to cramp. Everybody puts their hands up. She goes, "Okay, all right, everyone, I see." She said, "Let's start right down here." I was in seat 1 for the alternates. She goes, "Mr. Kosicki, can you tell me about your situation?" Whoops. We'll edit that out.
Yeah.
Uh, she says, No, we can't edit that out. God dang it. She says, "Can you tell me about your situation?" Now, this is where Ronnie says to me, "Tell her that you know me, not by name.
Right.
Tell her that you know me. I'm your buddy, and that as a Sac County sheriff, he doesn't take innocent people to jail."
Right.
And he goes, "That'll get you out of it." And believe me, that was top of mind, Ronnie. That's
Okay.
what I
Okay.
was thinking.
All right.
So she says, Mr. G, can you tell us about your situation? I said, well, Your Honor, one of my best buddies is a Sac County sheriff, and together we host a YouTube show. She goes, oh, really? Well, how many viewers do you have? And which is a question that shows she doesn't know anything.
26 right now.
Thank you, Ronnie. Appreciate it. And I said, approaching 200,000. And she goes, oh my gosh, well, that's impressive. And I go, well, thank you, Your Honor. She says, can you tell me more? What's the name of this show? Now, keep in mind,
Female judge.
courtroom full of people, including two perhaps murderers. Did I forget to mention that this is a murder case?
Was that including you or?
No, not me. No,
okay. All
no,
right.
not me. And they were. Oh, I'm not going to say that part. Okay. So she says to me, "Well, what are the kinds of things that you talk about on your show?" No. She goes, "What's the name of your show?"
Oh yeah.
And I said, "With all due respect, Your Honor, men are so smart." And the courtroom erupts. And I look over, and the two suspected murderers are like holding their stomachs. They're laughing so hard. And I said, Your Honor, it's not men are smarter than women. It's not men are smarter than anybody else. It's just suggested that men are so smart. She goes, I understand. What do you guys talk about? And I said, well, we talk about life and pop culture and music and entertainment and rights and wrongs and men and women. She goes, would there be a chance that you might talk about something like this case on your show? And I looked at her, and I think my eyes were wide open like,
right.
Well, yeah, of course there is. She goes,
is that a trick question?
My wife, when I told her this story, my wife goes, well, I'm sure you made a few more fans.
Well, probably. You know what? Maybe if the two criminals can sneak a phone into jail, they can watch from their cells. We may have won a couple guys over.
So the judge says to the attorneys, there's four of them, by the way. And one of them, one of them I was so enamored by. He was so good. And he brought up this analogy of a jigsaw puzzle because this case was going to be based almost 90% on DNA evidence. So they had a DNA attorney there. Yeah. They had a defense attorney for one of the people, a defense attorney for the other person, the assistant district attorney, and some other guy who was awful. He really was. So she says to the attorneys, okay, at this point, I'll say, would you like to recuse our suggested jury? Yes, Your Honor. Recused. Okay, Mr. G, head down to the first floor and check out. You're out of here.
Wow.
So I left the courtroom, and I swear to God, I heard some people clapping. The best get out of jury duty story I've ever heard.
Oh, boy.
If you can top this, I'd love to hear from you if you have a jury duty story. So,
well, and I'll tell you, Vicky's been to jury duty just about every other year. I don't know, for the past 20 years. And typically, they don't assign her to criminal trials because her husband, obviously, is law enforcement. Mm-hmm. And but she has been on a criminal trial before. But it was, I can't remember. It was like drunk driving with injuries or something. Not
still a felony.
Yes, absolutely. So she's been on a couple criminal trials. And I have friends that have been on jury duty on criminal trials, and they've tried dropping the cop bomb on them, and sometimes it works, sometimes they don't care. If they have a kind of a limited pool to choose from, mm-hmm. You take what's in front of you. Mm-hmm. You know, you got to set up your jury pool, and so whatever you got is what you got.
Yeah, you know, I had never gotten so far in a trial before that they had actually selected the 12 jurors.
Right.
That would be sitting on the case.
Oh.
What do I think of the process? Well, I think it's important to do your civic duty. And I feel like if you are a voting person, I think it's your duty
Right.
to be active in your community and have a voice. That's what America's all about.
Yeah.
And I know this is Californication,
Right.
but that's what it's all about. That's what makes this country work is the judicial system. And you can say what you will about it. And Ronnie obviously is a member of law enforcement and works very closely. And as you can see, is plenty aware of what rooms and what departments and blah blah blah. Um, the only problem is, this trial was going to go 5 weeks, Ronnie, because of Veterans Day, which is tomorrow.
Right.
God bless all members of the military.
Yeah.
Every day.
Current and past.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Although for past it's Memorial Day, Ron, but still, if you've served, then and I can't speak for Ronnie,
No.
but I know he feels the same way.
Yeah.
Ultimate respect. And then Thanksgiving they take the whole week off. Plus they don't have court on Fridays.
Right.
5 weeks.
So let me tell you this about I think court is obviously 100% necessary, and I think the process is as fair as it can possibly be, because having sat in that chair testifying against somebody that I arrested,
Mm-hmm.
and then to see them go free on some kind of a
Technicality.
technicality,
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
something that somebody along the way, I mean, every case, every time we arrest somebody on a kind of a big case, it's handled by many hands. You've got the CSI person that's out there taking
Right.
fingerprints and photographs and things like that. And then at the scene, we're making our visual observations of the scene. I remember one time a guy had wrapped a towel around his girlfriend's neck and was dragging her from room to room and punching her head through sheetrock
Oh my
using
God.
the towel like a sling. That guy, he ended up getting prison. But I've seen cases like that where a lot of that stuff is disregarded, or because it wasn't prepared properly, it's tossed out. And sometimes your whole case is riding on those. But that's what makes America great, is that you are afforded every possibility of getting a fair trial.
And may I just add this caveat? The most important lesson that needs to be learned as a juror is very simply that you must consider the person innocent till proven guilty.
Right.
And until you are of that mindset, then you can't accept evidence. And if you have any bias whatsoever, that's a word that comes up a lot.
Right.
If you have any bias whatsoever, if you cannot set that aside, you can't do jury duty. You can't be a juror.
And see, and that's my biggest problem. I already know that if one of my buddies arrested this person, they caught him virtually red-handed,
Mm-hmm.
or they did a lot of investigation after fingerprints and DNA and everything else that led them right to this person. I mean, we have probably one of the greatest examples of DNA evidence ever sitting in jail right now in Sacramento County, and that's the East Area Rapist slash Golden State Killer.
Mm-hmm.
Connected 100%.
Sorry, I couldn't find anything like that.
Siri, mind your own damn business.
Shut up. So, so he's guilty as all sin, but I don't know if he'll be found guilty eventually if he lives through the trial. He's old.
Right.
He's an old man.
And this is going to drag out forever.
It's going to be years before they have I can't remember 8 or 10,000 pages worth of evidence, because it's numerous murders. It's, I don't know, like 50 rapes that happened in about 4 or 5 different counties.
This was in the 1970s, around 1975, I
It's
think.
all these cases compiled all together. And so it's going to be years and years before it ever goes to trial, and he's an old man. So, again, everybody deserves their fair shake at a competent trial. But for God's sake, some of these people are just, they're guilty. And
How I don't mean to talk out of both sides of my mouth on this, but how could he possibly ever get a jury of 12 to 18 people that could find him innocent until proven guilty? How is
well,
that possible?
yeah.
I don't think it is.
And that's honestly his best chance, because you can request a jury. I'm sorry, you can request a trial with no jury, where just the judge listens to the evidence and the judge decides.
You can request that, Ronnie?
Yeah, and it makes the trial go a whole hell of a lot faster. But unless you are 100% innocent, I would take my chances with a jury. So,
Yeah.
but anyway, I digress a little bit. But I'll tell you, juries. So, like from a law enforcement standpoint, we get subpoenaed. Let's say we go to a lot of domestic violence cases. I get subpoenaed to a domestic violence case. I have to get down 1 hour early. The district attorney wants to speak to me, and they want to discuss, what I know about the case. They wait for the day before, the day of the trial. You go in there 1 hour early, talk to the DA. They talk about what you wrote in your report and what you know, what you recall. And then you head over to the courthouse. And they say, yeah, we'll probably be calling you at about 10 a.m. to the witness stand. And I can tell you from experience that never happens.
Oh, it was at 12:30.
They come out at 11 o'clock.
Yep.
And they go, hey, we're taking a lunch. Be back here at 1:30.
Right.
And you're going to be the first person on the stand. And I shake my head. And I'm thinking, there's no way in hell. And so at 4 o'clock in the afternoon, they come out and they go, you're going to be first thing
Tomorrow
tomorrow.
morning, yeah.
Oh my God.
Forget all that other stuff we mentioned about right after lunch.
And so you may sit down there for 2 days.
But you get paid.
We do get paid.
Yeah.
I get paid my full hourly rate. We get paid for being there. But you sit down there for 2 hours. You're sitting outside with friends and family of the suspect.
Mm-hmm. And you're the law. And they love you.
Yeah, we're not popular out there in the hallway. So it's super, super uncomfortable. I've never looked forward to going to court. It's like one of those necessary evils. My favorite thing is when I get subpoenaed, and then I don't know, 3 days before the trial, the DA calls me and goes, yeah, the dude pled out. Hallelujah.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Well, we'll wrap it up with this, okay? I figured just about everybody that is on our live chat has at one time or another been called for jury duty, and there's a decision to be made. To me, there isn't, but some people just ignore it, and they never think about it, and they just move on. I will tell you that on the first day, as soon as we came into the courtroom, when they called roll, there were two people that didn't come to the courtroom. Bench warrants were issued for them.
Yeah.
So they don't fool around. But here's what I wanted to say to wrap this up, Ronnie. I only wish I could have been on that jury. I believe that I would have made a great juror. What do you call the person that's the lead juror? There's a name for that person.
The foreman.
The foreman of the jury.
Yeah.
I'm not saying that I would have been the foreman, but I'm sure I would have played an instrumental part in not negotiation. What is it called? Deliberation.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. I need more coffee this morning. All right. So you do what you do. You. I did me. Found out that it just wasn't going to work. All right. Next up.
So did you end up going back to work Tuesday after you were dismissed?
Yep. Oh yeah, sure.
Yeah, got to make some money.
Well, was I going to burn more vacation time?
Exactly. Yeah.
I already burned a day and a half.
Wow.
So, okay, at this point in the show, I want to remind you that coming up right after this next segment, we're going to do our fantasy draft. And if you're new to the program, I just saw somebody who was Anthony Wright.
Oh,
I think that's a name that I
yeah.
haven't
He
seen
wants to know,
before.
did they ever find Forrest Fenn's treasure?
Yep, sure did.
Yeah, we got it. We got pictures of it somewhere.
Yeah, it's found. It's at an auction house, right, Ronnie?
Right. Yeah. No, it's not. No. He
No.
thought he found it.
Yeah. He
Yeah.
thought he found it, but he didn't find it.
Yeah.
And no, I'm not going to slander him. Okay, I got a comment from a viewer about one of our previous shows, and I think it had to do something with dating.
Oh,
And I mean, it was back in
we're
the
not
archives.
seriously dating. It's,
What do you mean?
I am
This is the first I'm hearing of this.
sorry.
I was going to move from antelope to citrus.
Sorry, my bad. I should have
Okay.
told you.
Yeah, you take it all back? All right. Dating. And, you know, Ronnie and I are certainly in the know when it comes to dating.
Yeah.
We do it so frequently.
I went on a date last night, actually.
Did you?
Yeah.
Hmm.
Went out to dinner with my wife and a friend of ours. Yeah.
Well.
Yeah.
Where did you go?
A new place called Out of Bounds Brewery.
Oh, that sounds good already.
It's on Folsom Boulevard, and if when you drive by, you'll find the place easily because cars are parked all over.
Oh, it's that popular.
We went for an early dinner. We got there at 5 o'clock, and there was just somebody pulling out of a parking place where we were able to park. The person that we met there had to park about a block away and walk in. So it's unbelievable. Or you can pay $5 to valet park your car.
You know, Yogi Berra had a saying about that.
I do know this.
He used to say,
Nobody goes there anymore because it's
way too busy.
it's too popular or something like that.
Gotta love it. All right. So anyway, I get this comment, and you know, I say this frequently that I don't take suggestions on show topics for the most part from viewers. It's nothing personal. Still love each and every one of you. It's just that it's got to be really, really good and have some legs.
Right. And we've run across a couple.
Granted. Well, this was a comment, I should say, from a viewer who said to me after viewing that dating show, I believe that the first date should be Dutch. You should go Dutch. Let's talk about it.
Okay.
All right. First of all, if you're going on a first date, no matter how you met this person at work, on a social media site, on a dating site, whatever it might be, the first date should be someplace in public,
Right.
and it should be a place that you would be able to bail out if you needed to. For instance, a coffee date.
Right.
That's a great first date.
You know what? My wife's and I first date was at a drive-in movie. So
Oh, yeah, you know what that is.
that's a recipe for date rape.
Well, I wasn't going to go there, but since you did, no, that's captive audience. Is what you got there.
Yeah.
Of course, this was the '70s. Anything could happen.
She said, how do you unlock this door?
Yeah, you
You
can't.
can't from that.
I
Yeah,
got to do it from this
you
side.
can't unlock it from there.
Yeah, and besides, what are you doing in the back seat? This is my patrol car. Is that what you did to get girls, Ronnie? Yeah, hi, I'm a cop. Want to get in my car? I'll let you use the siren.
Yeah.
Hey, how come you never let me use the siren?
Sorry, you're not a girl. Yeah, it's
no.
girls only.
Are you sure?
Oh well.
You know, it depends on who I identify with.
I really can't. I can't say I've seen physical proof, but
All right.
or the lack of.
So coffee date, or you know what else? How about a couple of drinks? And when I say a couple, I mean like two. Uh, Not to a point where a smaller framed woman of very little weight might be intoxicated after two drinks.
Well, I even think a double date because a lot of
Oh,
times
that's good too.
you guys they probably share a friend somewhere
Mhm.
where that friend can bring along a person, and it's a little more comfortable because sometimes people are shy when they meet new people and they may not do their best work just in a one-on-one.
Hmm.
And so if you can have somebody there that can also help break the ice a little bit and maybe find something that you both might have in common, that's probably the absolute best case scenario.
I'll tell you a story about when I was working in Salt Lake City. This was back in 1989, I think. I had a relationship that broke up, and it hit me pretty bad, and I didn't really want to go out or be with anybody. And so one of the girls, I may have told this story. I'm sorry if I did. One of the girls said, "I know somebody you could go out with." This is the girl I told you looked like Madonna.
Oh yeah,
Okay,
right,
same girl.
right.
So I said to her, "Well, her number," and she gave it to me. And I called and I made a lunch date. That's another great one.
Yep.
Okay, because you probably have to get back to work and
Just meet up at the place and
yeah,
chat for a few.
and go Dutch. Go Dutch. There's no obligation
Right,
for a second date.
right.
So anyway, I asked this girl for lunch. We went out. We had a great time at lunch, and she asked me to go to a movie that night.
Okay.
It was a Friday, I think, and I thought, okay,
Wow.
I don't have to be up in the morning to do a morning show. So I said, sure. Well, guess what? She never left for like 3 days.
Ruh-roh.
I I couldn't get rid of this girl.
Ooh,
And then
God
finally,
dang.
after 3 days, she says to me, I need to know right now, are you going to be my boyfriend because I have somebody else that's interested? And I said, boyfriend? I don't even know your last name. Enough. What are people saying? Date.
uh,
Go Dutch on the first date. What's the feedback? Any at all?
Vinny Stack says less pressure in a group dynamic.
Good point, but it's not as personal getting to know one and asking questions.
Yep. Davio says less pressure is always good. Rapala67 says he works better alone.
Instead of a double date. I get it.
Tom Sawyer says never go Dutch. Let's see. Take her to a Niners game. Yes.
I think a sporting event is a good
That
thing.
is a pretty good thing. Unless, you know what, some women are, they don't know anything about sports and they don't enjoy.
And they're going to be there 3
A
hours.
football game is 3 hours plus
Mhm.
because there's before, and then if you go to a Niners game, it takes an hour to get out of the frickin' parking lot.
You might as well just barbecue again. That's what I
Yeah.
always do.
Yeah.
You know?
So sporting events, a Kings game. We have Sacramento Kings here that's a little bit shorter.
Mhm.
And
now there's plenty of restaurants surrounding the arena.
Yeah. You can make a 6 hour gig out of it. It's a pretty
Yeah.
good deal.
Well, see, that's what I'm trying to avoid in a first date. If your first date is like an hour and a half, I think that's perfect. Maybe even a little less. An hour and a half where you just get a few, questions to ask the person. And the one thing you definitely don't want to do is spend the entire time talking about yourself
Nothing worse.
or previous relationships.
Okay, that is worse. That's slightly worse. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, Sasha is saying that her and Jason had a coffee date and they went Dutch.
See,
And look at that.
that's perfect. And look how that situation has worked
Working
out.
well.
Mhm.
Davio says camping is a good test.
Oh,
You know what? If you're super into camping, and that's probably a good way to weed out some of the people because my wife, camping is.
I don't camp.
Yeah, I mean, camping is a hotel that's less than $100 a night. That's camping for her.
Hooters tends to be a solid first. Okay. Vinny, you crack me up, man.
Yeah.
You really do. All right. Right now, going across the screen, I can see a reminder that Men Are So Smart can now be heard in podcast form. You can find us on iTunes, Spotify, Google, and a couple of other ones that you might be aware of. Just do a search for Men Are So Smart, and a bevy of choices will come up for you. And you can listen to those anywhere you go, on your phone, when you're walking, whatever you're doing, washing a car.
Kurt Hensley says the worst thing to talk about on a first date is forest fend treasure because she might go out and start looking for it.
Well, she might tell you she's going to go out looking for it, but what she's doing is running to her car, Kurt.
Yeah.
That's more than likely what she's doing. I don't think you're going to get a lot of girls talking about the Finn treasure.
And good morning, Sledneck. Sledneck's checking in.
Hey, bud, I
Uh,
love when he watches.
yeah,
Remember how we didn't start off well with Slednick?
we did. We had a little rough go with Sledneck, but
Yeah.
he's turned out to be a pretty solid.
I'm going to say it must have been us. Or you know what? It must have been me. I'll say that. I know. But anyway, we're great with Slednick now.
Oh yeah.
I think he gets us and what we do.
Sometimes there is a little bit of a learning curve with us.
Yeah.
Not everybody gets us right off the bat.
hmm
So
And you know, this Sunday Morning M.A.S.S is a show where we can talk about just about anything we want.
true enough.
So one of the things that I'm getting some positive feedback on, slowly but surely, Ron,
Okay.
is our fantasy draft.
Okay.
So let's make sure we check in with Lou and Ronnie Fan 500.
Lou and Ronnie fan, have you thought? Now, don't type anything in
No,
there.
no.
Just that we still have you.
Yeah, I want to make sure you're listening before I
Uh,
launch this sucker.
Yeah, we want to make sure you're not in the bathroom or making a bagel or
Oh, you can stall a little bit.
whatever the hell time it is there. I'm not sure that you're not preparing your meal or sitting on the toilet because it is pretty much right around sitting on the toilet time and
On the West Coast.
on the West Coast.
If it's on the East Coast, you're not as regular as you thought.
Yeah.
All right, so we're just waiting on Lou and Ronnie Fan
Okay.
500.
He's
there.
thinking. He says he's thinking. Okay. Good job.
Okay, so today on Fantasy Draft, we'll be drafting American presidents from 1 to 45. You can pick. You can give us a reason, whatever you'd like to do. Lou and Ronnie Fan 500, we're going to need you to jump in as quickly on as you can. So I'm hoping we have your full attention.
He's got it. He
All right.
says. All right. So what I think we need to do.
Yes.
We will go for first and second pick because third pick is honestly not a bad pick
No.
because you get third and fourth.
Right.
So
Y'all understand how this works? It's just like a typical NFL draft.
it's called a snake. It's
Right.
called a snake draft.
Exactly.
So because it's one pick, two picks, one pick, two picks, just like and then
Yeah.
one pick,
All
two
right, well,
picks.
keep me honest on this. You know, I've been thinking I should write these down
Oh.
because I always have trouble remembering.
I will write mine down and then
I'm not going to have time for that. Hey, I wanted to say good morning to Ken Beckhold, a brand new subscriber to our show. Dang it, we appreciate that so much, buddy. Thank you, Ken Beckhold. We appreciate it. I just want to let you know we saw it. I'm going to have to fly by the seat of my pants, Ronald.
okay.
All right?
All right.
We're going to have to do rock, paper, scissors,
Yeah.
Rochambeau. Let's.
warm these things up. Otherwise, all I could throw is a rock. My hand is frozen.
Here's how I throw paper. Here we go.
Oh, let me.
All right.
Oh,
Now it's bent back too far. Jesus.
they wouldn't crack. Oh,
Okay.
You know they're cold when they won't even crack.
You know,
Okay.
next week I'm bringing my heater, under the table heater.
Okay. All right.
It's ridiculous.
It's cold.
You
Might
know
be-
what?
might be
Hold on
warmer
here.
next week.
Hold on 1 second. Let me get the dang weather forecast. What's the current temperature?
Oh, it's
57. In this garage, I'm sorry, studio,
it might be colder than that.
I think it is. It's more
Yeah.
like 49.
Yeah.
All right, Ronnie.
Okay.
I'm thinking very carefully on my Rochambeau.
Okay.
I think I know what I'm going to do.
I know what I'm doing.
Okay, ready?
Ready.
I thought I had you outsmart there.
Okay.
Remember to do it up high.
Oh yeah, that's right. Right.
Um,
right. Oh yeah.
Okay, I'm ready.
Sure. Okay. Oh. Okay.
In the first round draft of U.S. presidents, I am going to lay down the best president that we have ever had, President Ronald Reagan.
See, I'm already typing that.
Okay, you can just erase that right now. So, Lou and Ronnie Fan 500, be ready. Don't
You
say
ready
it
with your?
just yet.
You ready with your pick?
That Ronnie do his.
I am taking
Okay, first round. Second
John Fitzgerald Kennedy.
Yeah, that's my second one.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, and Lou and Ronnie Fan 500, you will have the next 2 picks.
Yeah, so now you can pick 2 people. He's taking Theodore Roosevelt,
Okay, Teddy Roosevelt.
Teddy,
Hmm.
and Lou and Ronnie Fan. You get one more pick.
Teddy is a solid pick, Tom.
That is a super solid pick.
Mhm. Rock, scissors, lightsaber.
And Clinton. All right.
Oh, okay.
All
Well, I feared that it might take a turn.
right. Oh wait, now I pick next.
Yeah, you're next up.
Okay. And I am taking.
Don't take the one I'm taking, please.
I'm taking Honest Abe.
God dang it, Ronnie!
Yeah.
You know he was a wrestler.
Was he?
Yeah,
Did he ever wrestle a bear? Because
He might have.
that would be worth seeing.
he might have. I'm not going to say yes because that might help you in people voting for you. Now remember, you folks are going to vote here, and oh, that's what I forgot. I got a trophy.
Oh.
I got a trophy for us. I'll bring it next week.
All right.
All right, so I'm up with the
So
next
now-
pick, and I pick 2.
You pick 2.
Okay, I'm going to go with our first president, and I'm going to take
Oh.
George Washington,
Georgie
the
Porgy.
father of our country. I believe that to be an extremely strong pick.
Well, you
And
can believe whatever you
then
want.
I'm going to pick another Ronnie.
Wait. No.
No?
Wait. Yes.
Yes. So I picked 2.
Yep.
And so I have picked George Washington. I've added that to my list with Ronald Reagan. And what is this draft, Ronnie? Is it favorite or best presidents before I make my next
I
pick?
think best presidents, because otherwise everybody would be voting for very contemporary presidents because they don't have much knowledge of outside the the big few presidents.
In that case, okay, this is a tough pick for me. It really is. I want to go one way, and just when you think I'm going to zig, what do, Ronnie?
You zag.
I zag
Yep.
every time.
Yep.
I am going to go with President, and this is the reason. I have never agreed with his idealistic ways of thinking politically, but I respect him as a man. I respect him as a community member, and I respect him for what he does, even at his age. I'm going to go with President Jimmy Carter.
Oh, you know what? I like that.
Okay, so here's what I have Reagan, Washington, and Carter. Almost forgot there.
Okay.
That's what I mean. I need to write these down.
Okay. I've got them all.
Oh, good. Okay. All right.
Okay,
So,
so
Ronnie, now
now
you have.
I pick one,
Uh-huh.
and then Lou and Ronnie Fan 500. Get ready to come out with your last 2.
One. Okay.
Yeah.
Or 2.
Wait.
No, 1. 1.
Wait. Where is
He
he?
has Teddy Roosevelt and
Clinton.
And Clinton.
Yeah. So you got one more. So start thinking about you. Don't type it yet.
Not yet.
I am gonna go. Someone said Martin Van Buren for the win. I don't think
Dang,
so.
I had him on my list.
Millard Fillmore. I'm not sure. I believe I'm gonna go with George Bush Sr.
Oh, what was I thinking?
Yeah.
What was I thinking?
You know what? I really liked him. I thought George. I thought Son was the funniest president. Not that he meant to be, but he was very entertaining.
Fool me once, shame on you. Fool me twice, won't get fooled again.
We have a lot of Bushisms that we call him, and we say that he wasn't the sharpest knife. No, he wasn't the brightest bulb in the knife drawer.
Mm-hmm.
So, all right, Lou and Ronnie Fan.
All right.
Jefferson. Yep, that's solid.
All right. Thomas Jefferson.
Yep.
So review for us, Ronnie.
Okay, hold on.
Jefferson was my pick too, says Sasha.
You know what? And their airplane was pretty good too. Jefferson Airplane
Yeah,
or Starship.
Gray Slick.
Yep.
Mhm.
Okay, so Lou started us out with Ronald Reagan. I followed up with JFK.
I really wanted JFK.
That's the winner, because he said, "Ask not."
Ask not what your country can do for you. Ask what you can do for your country.
Boy, if people still did that today, can you imagine how great the United States would be? All right. Anyway, I went JFK. Lou and Ronnie Fan 500 took Teddy Roosevelt and Bill Clinton. I then took Honest Abe Lincoln. You took George Washington, Jimmy Carter. I took George Bush, and Lou and Ronnie Fan 500 took Thomas Jefferson, the man on the $20 bill.
Okay, so vote right now. The winner will be given a trophy next week on Mass. Do we know what day we're doing next week so we can tell these folks? Because I'll
You know what? I'll let you pick right now if you want.
Oh,
Because
okay.
I believe. Let me just check my calendar real quick. Both days are good,
All right.
so let's pick a day.
All right, we'll do Sunday morning Mass, and that way you can go to your car show.
All right.
All
So Sunday morning at 8 a.m.
Yes, 8 a.m. is best for me. That
Okay.
really works good.
So
That
next
gives me a
Sunday,
little-
8 a.m., it will determine the winner.
All right, so Sasha is now the media relations coordinator for a local school district,
Wow.
and that is perfect for her.
Congratulations.
That is awesome. We are
Yeah.
thrilled. Don't mention Johnson to Forrest. JFK turned into Arnold at the end there. A philanderer? Is that what you're suggesting?
Well, yeah, but you know what? Probably quite a few presidents did.
Mhm.
I don't think you can, I don't know. Ah,
Okay, so there you go. Vote
Yeah.
right now. Who has the best team? I think Ronald Reagan was the best president that we ever had. Man, was he great with the media. He could slice you up like Swiss cheese and then just watch you fall down to the ground like this.
He still has some of the most quotable quotes as a president ever. He was a really good, straight, squared away guy.
Mm-hmm.
And there was a guy that I believe probably never took advantage of his office and was womanizing or anything. I mean, damn, you had freaking Nancy Reagan. She was hot.
Well, I don't think I'd go there.
Well,
Rick Clemens says Lou wins this one. That's one vote, Lou.
Okay.
You'll notice Donald Trump was missing from the list.
Yeah.
I was going to pick him.
You know, it's hard.
I thought it'd be polarizing.
It probably would be. You can't take away what the man's done in office, but he certainly is divisive. So there's not a lot of people that are in that gray area with him.
You know, we don't usually get political, but I think this has been like a springboard for me to say a couple of things, and I'm sure Ronnie would like to as well. I voted for Donald Trump, and I'll tell you why. Very easily. I didn't want to vote for the alternative. Just plain and simple.
Yeah.
I knew what to expect from Donald Trump. I had no idea of the shitstorm on Twitter that he would blow up. I wish he would stop talking there. I wish he would stop saying things that are unpresidential like.
Yeah. He really should have somebody in charge of his Twitter account.
Yeah.
And then he tells them, this is what I want to say. And then they make it more politically correct.
Mhm.
Not that I think politically correctness is the worst thing that's ever happened to the history of the United States,
Mhm.
but they could at least tone it down and make it a little bit more civil. He goes a little off the deep end quite often.
Rapala 67 votes for 500 fan.
I saw that. Sasha says I win.
Okay, she always
So-
votes for you.
She gets 10 votes, by the way. I don't know if you knew
I
that.
didn't know that.
Yeah, she gets 10 votes.
Just like that, 10. Wow,
Yeah.
seems fair. All right. He needs a breathalyzer. That's funny.
Yeah, he does.
Oh my gosh, that's funny.
These could be some, because sometimes at night people go on late night rants. He might be late night ranting on his Twitter account because some of the things that happen overseas happen late at night, and he must have some type of an alarm that goes off when he's mentioned in a tweet or something, and then he responds full on. He does not hold back, and that's I think that's in bad. That's using bad judgment.
I
If you
agree.
do that.
You
Yeah.
know, you got to be presidential, and truly, let me ask you a question. How many posts on social media do you see from me in a week?
Zero.
Okay. He's the president.
Yeah.
How does he have enough time to tweet that much?
Yeah.
Seriously, I don't have time and I work a regular job.
Yeah.
Uh, diet pills. Let's not go down that road. Hair gel. Yeah. Okay, Baba. That's pretty funny. Um, that's funny. He needs a breathalyzer on his Twitter account. Uh,
And you know what? I'm a little bit guilty sometimes. If I see something that is so absurd, I will respond uh, right away and let them know how absurd it is.
mhm.
And so I don't, but then again, I'm not one of these people that I don't see anything on any of my social media accounts that I wouldn't tell anybody to their face.
Okay,
If
that's a good
somebody
rule.
if somebody told me something completely insane and absurd to my face, I would tell them right back to their face, that's crazy talk. You need some help. So that's just the way I am. And I think that's the best policy. There's a lot of what they call keyboard warriors
Oh, truly.
that will tell people that they would never tell anybody to their face.
Hmm.
And I think that's bad. I think that's being a kind of a bad person if you're going to be doing that.
All right, well, I'm going to claim a win for Lou this week. And so next week, Ronnie will present me with the trophy, unless there are a few more. Ebby says Lou wins. Jimmy Carter says Sledneck. Yeah, that was my third pick.
Yeah.
I never agreed with him politically.
But
Okay,
you know
so
what he's doing now?
oh my, what a man!
He is pretty damn good.
He's a living example of,
Yeah.
of how people should live their lives. With
Yeah.
what is that called? Habitat for Humanity.
Yeah, he's big. He's still out there. He's pounding nails.
Yeah,
He's got to be, I don't know, 90
he
years
is 90
old.
years old, or maybe 91.
God bless him.
All right. Well, we're just about out of our time limit by 2 minutes, Ronnie. Is there anything that we need to get to? Once again, remember that if you don't have time to watch the show, and if you don't watch, you don't get this.
Right.
You don't get these faces.
Yeah. And you
You
can't vote on the Fantasy draft.
Right.
Sorry.
I'll tell you what I'm going to do is I'm going to throw out a topic that we can comment on below outside of the live chat
There you go.
after the show goes off, and that's going to be momentarily here. Let me get back to my notes real quick here because I already have it here. All right. Here is the question that we will continue to talk about after our show is over, and it is
Which NFL team is still undefeated?
it football season?
It's Niners.
Well, when are they going to play a real team?
It's Monday.
Yeah, they are.
Monday.
So we'll
Yeah.
talk about that next Sunday.
Or maybe I might be sick.
Yeah. No, you are out of sick time. Okay, so the topic for today in the comments below, outside of the live chat, will be men versus women. Who needs more?
Oh. Talking like needs maintenance.
Okay,
Like,
that
yeah.
would be a good example. Financially,
Yeah.
who needs more?
Mm.
Who needs more out of a relationship? There are several things: emotional, psychological. you can leave your comments below. All
Yeah.
right.
All
We'll
right.
take those on right after we end the show here. I did want to mention once again, you can hear our show or heard it. I guess I had a typo in an episode, and I wasn't even drunk. You can listen to our show in podcast form now on various platforms, Spotify, iTunes, and if all goes well, I should hear sometime this week, and we'll probably be on iHeartMedia,
Ooh, yeah, that's right.
iHeart Podcasts.
That's right.
I hope that works out okay.
Yeah.
Wanted to mention that I do a radio show on Saturday mornings here locally, but it could be heard around the world and is. You can listen live on the website, which I understand is being completely revamped, and by
Wow.
this time next week it should be up and running. And you can listen live, as I said, and that is at 1015khits.com, khits.com. If you'd like to email us, our email addresses are coming across the screen as we speak. There they are. We'd love to hear from you. I try to respond to as many comments and emails as I possibly can. I got this weird text yesterday, 4 of them in a row, from a phone, an email phone. I don't know who the person is. I have no idea what they were. Oh, that's what I wanted to tell you about. Ronnie.
Yes.
Ronnie.
I'm right here.
We're going overtime.
Okay.
Fen news.
Oh, that's right. Almost forgot this.
So I'm at work on Thursday, and my phone lights up. And so I glance at it, and it says, email from Force Fen.
Mm-hmm.
Go, well, that's kind of weird. And so I say, you know what, I'm gonna go take a break. And I grabbed my phone and went outside. And I read the email, and Mr. Fen, sent me an email which was intended for someone else.
Right. His publisher, if I remember right.
I wasn't going to give that away.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. We'll just edit that out.
We can't edit that out, Ronnie. Have you no filter? Let's just say that I was privy to a conversation I should not have been privy to. And so I wrote back to Mr. Fen, and I said, Mr. Fen, I'm sorry, but I believe you sent this to the wrong person. That other person's name was also Lou, but a different address.
Oh, no wonder.
Yeah, I'd never mentioned that to you.
No wonder.
And so I wrote him back and I said, I got nothing to do with this.
Right.
So I just wanted to let you know. And he wrote me back. He goes, oh, you're right. That was intended for someone else. I'm sorry to have done that to you. Are you still doing your show? You don't send me links anymore.
Yeah.
And
who knew that you still wanted them?
Yeah.
First of all. So, yes, we will be sending them.
Sure, I'll send you one today right after this. But see, you know what? That's what I told him in the email. That's what I said to him too. I said, I was under the impression that you were trying to cut down on the number of emails that you receive each week, and I didn't want to be a party to that. He said, oh, no, absolutely. Anytime you want to contact me, you can.
Wow.
So I'm not going to overdo
So we got that going for us.
Which is nice, Ronnie.
Which is nice.
Well, as a matter of fact. So, yeah, something is going on, and I know more than I can say.
Or we've said more than we should already.
We?
Yeah, one of us.
One of us did. So I'm going to leave you with that information, my friends. You can do with it whatever you want. We got to get out of here.
Yep.
I hope that you have a glorious Sunday. And if you're listening or viewing this on another day, hola, how you doing? Hello from California, where we all surf and say dude.
100% of the time.
And live on the beach.
Whoa, yeah, dude. Mm-hmm. Totally.
Gnarly.
Duh.
All right.
Burn!
You're out of control, Ronnie.
You're not in California. Burn!
This whole courtroom is out of order. All right. So the comments below, who is needier, men or women? And we'll address that below throughout the day as you comment. Feel free to do so. We are getting out of here. I am Lou Gallagher.
Yes, you are. Oh,
No, that's where you jump
I'm
in.
Corvette Ronnie. Sorry, I forgot.
And this is the point in the show where we screw it up every time. So, Ronnie, you got us up there.
Okay.
I'm going to try to do
Yeah.
this the right way.
Okay.
Okay. Bye bye from California. Have a great Sunday.
Bye now. Wait. No, end it. Luke, I am your father.